I'm Allie. Join me in creating these treasure earrings featuring some of our Eva beads and also some Potomac pearls. If you need any materials, remember to look below the video. In the description, you can get links to shop with us online. So to begin with our treasure earring, we have our 4 Eva beads. You're going to want 8 4mm pearls, and this is per earring. You're going to also want 8 of your 2mm rounds. If you don't have 2mm round beads, you can switch those out for 11 OC beads. And then I have some 15 OC beads in the silver color. The first thing I'm doing is adding a stop bead to my thread, which I'm using the green, so you can see it a little bit better, but I would usually use the white or the white color of the dragon thread. And I'm putting on a stop bead that's not part of my project on the bottom of my thread and a 12 size needle. I'm going to take my thread and needle into one of my Eva beads, and when I take it into there, I'm going to go from the point end towards the open center. In the open center, go ahead and grab an 11, one of your 4mm pearls, and another 11. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the center of the next Eva and out toward the point. When I'm out through the point, I want you to pick up with your thread and needle a total of 8 15 OC beads. Once you have those 8 15s on, go ahead and go through the other side of that same Eva bead that your thread is currently coming out of. What that is going to do is just top the Eva bead with some 15 OC beads. From here, repeat that process another 3 times. So we want a total of 4 of our Eva beads on, going through and adding a 15 pearl 15, going up through the center of our Eva bead, adding our 8 seed beads to the outside, and then once again, after those 8 are added, down the other side, give that nice tight pull so we don't have a lot of extra thread showing. And then once I'm down that other side, once again, 15, then your pearl, then your 15, pick up the next of your Eva beads. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate this with 8 seed beads along the top. Grab one more 15 pearl 15, and then we're going to connect to our starter one. So next step here, I'm putting on my last 15 pearl 15 combo, and I'm going to go back to that starting Eva bead where my thread is coming out of at the very start. And I'm going to go into the bottom of the Eva, out towards the peak of the Eva. And then just like the rest of them, go ahead and add your 8 seed beads. 4 are going to go to one side, 4 on the other, but 8 on total. And then we're going to go back down into that first side of the Eva bead, into your first 15L, and out through the pearl. Give a nice little tight tug. You can see how it's trying to cooperate and lay correctly, but to get it to lay fully correctly and to get that X shape, we're going to grab a 2mm bead. And they can be a little tricky because that hole is pretty small. Spin around your project, and you're going to go into the next 4mm pearl. And that's going to pull that in towards the center. Next one here, add a 2mm. And obviously we have 4 pearls, so we're going to do this 4 times. So into the next pearl. So see how that's pulling those Evas in closer towards one another and pulling the pearls closer together as well. Add another 2. And they are hollow, so you might need to spin it a little bit on your needle. Again, if you don't have the 2mm, just grab an 8 or 11 OC bead. That'll do the trick for you. Into the next one. I'm circling these all up so they all touch. Once you have them all connected in the middle, you can see how it gets that nice starter form that you're working on. From here, I'm going to tighten it up by going back through the pearls and the 2mm beads one more time. And I'll get ready to drop in my center pearl. Once you've tightened up that center row, you're going to be coming out of one of your pearls, and you're going to add your 5th pearl onto your project. I'm coming out of that top pearl there on the left-hand side. I'm going to go to the pearl below it and go in from the right-hand side. What that's going to do is just have that pearl lay right in the middle of the project, right there in the center. From here, I'm going to sew through my next 2mm bead, through my next purl. And you can see that they're kind of sitting, cooperating, but not perfectly. We're going to go out and add to the outer edge, creating more of that Xing effect. Going out then through a 15, up through one of your EVA beads. And as you get through the EVA bead, if you connect to a couple seed beads, that's okay. I want you to go through 4 seed beads at the tops of the EVAs. Remember, we originally added 8 beads to the top of the EVA. Once you're through 4, I want you to pick up one of your 2mm rounds and go down through the next 4. As you're down through the next 4, grab a 15, one of your pearls, a 15, and we're going to connect to that next line of seed beads that goes on top of the next EVA bead. So I have those in there. I'm coming out after my 4 beads. I'm going to grab one of my 2mm beads here, and then I'm going to go down through the 4 on the other side. Give a nice little tight pull on the thread. From here, again, going through, adding in my 15 pearl, 15, jumping over to the next corner here. And naturally, it usually wants to separate, so you're going to have an easy time going through 4, and then picking up your bead, and then going through the next 4. I have 2 of those done, 3 corners. I have 2 more and 1 more corner to add, and then we'll come back and we will tighten up that outer edge and get that really, really nice X effect to sit on the design. So as you have this nice framed out X effect, what you're going to want to do is just tighten it up so that way it's a little bit stiffer as you're wearing it as an earring. So to do so, I want you to go through the whole outer edge of seed beads one more time. I'm going to skip over the corner 2mm beads, sew through the whole line of my 15s through my pearl, then through my 15s. So you're going to have 5 15s on either side of your pearl that you're going to sew through along with your pearl. Just give a little tight pull, go over to the next corner. Same deal, go through all of your seed beads, all your pearl, and over through all the seed beads on the other side. And this just gives, if you're having a piece that you're doing and it's just a little bit wavy or it's not as stiff as you want it to be, rather than going in and thinking, can I add floor polish to this or anything like that, take another piece of thread through the last or outer edge and see what effect it has. Most of the time, adding that simple thread line will tighten up the design and make it more of the stiffness that you desire. So I'm going through here. Also, I like doing this, just gives that nice cohesive line to those seed beads above the pearl, or beside the pearl rather, and finishes it up. Then if you want to make a set, you can go in and you can add some seed beads to the outer edge. So I just wanted to go through and show you how I added some seed beads to an outer edge on a design that I was doing on our Twitch channel. So while making these earrings and making this design, I was playing around with the design elements and looking at beads where the colors really matched versus where they're different colors and they don't match as well, versus putting on some extra seed beads on the outer edge or dropping a crystal in the middle. So all I did for this one was put some seed beads around the exterior of the pearl and then lined seed beads as well. Look at how different the pattern looks when you just add a couple seed beads to the outer edge. Makes a completely different design. It's great for a match for necklace and bracelet if you want to do this as a little pendant, but I just exited after my 4 seed beads along the side, added some 5 seed beads along the top down to the corner, same deal, and then connected it all with some seed beads, seeing how it went in that line. What I'm going to do now for my earrings is add on my wire guard. I'm coming out my 2mm bead and I want them to sit in that X diamond shape. And I'm going to bring my thread and needle out through that top of the piece. I'm going to let it sit there as I grab my wire guard. And because of the color that the earring is, you can go silver, you can go gold. I'm going to grab my gold wire guard. Coming out the top here, I'm going through one little side of it, one little side channel, over and down through the top. I'll add my ear wire on after, then back through that same 2mm bead, making sure the thread stays inside that U channel. and reinforce it one more time. Taking my size 12 needle through the side, going in and around the top, making sure my thread stays in that U channel, coming down through that bead again because you want it to stay balanced. And now I'm going to look to get my thread ends matching in location. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, all right, where is my thread ends? Where are they matching? Can I go in and can I get that extra little bit of thread down to the baseline here on the back of the earring where that stop thread is? So I'm going to go down through my 4 seed beads. Sometimes I think at the end people aren't sure how to end off their thread. Get those 2 thread lines together and you're good to go. So I'm going to go through it here, make sure that I'm not exposing any extra thread, following the path that the thread would already be going in. Getting over toward my starter thread. You can see here how I'm following my thread line, getting over here towards the outer edge. And then as I come through my Eva bead here on the outer edge, making sure I'm not going through my stop bead, remove my stop bead, which is just that little seed bead. Usually I can use my fingers and just kind of relieve that pressure a little bit. Get rid of that stop bead, tie those 2 thread ends together, and then burn it down to finish off the design. Very, very simple and easy set of earrings that have a very classic black and white X effect. And hopefully you find a little bit of that treasure in this design. From here, I'll just take my thread burner or my thread zap and burn my thread edges down along the project. Add my ear wire, and you're good to go. Again, many modifications can be made depending on what beads you're using and what you want the design to look like, whether or not you want it to have that stark difference of the color transitions, have that X effect, go around the outer edge doing some seed beads, or even having them be similar colors that lend themselves to more so of that X as well. Thanks so much for joining me in these treasure earring video. Remember, if you need any supplies, go ahead and look below the video in the description to get the links there. Remember, you can also subscribe if you haven't yet already so you don't miss anything from us at Potomac Beads. As always, thanks so much and stay tuned for the next creative video.